Hi guys, I hope everybody's doing good. It's overcast, so I have my aunt light here, so hopefully the lighting's okay. I know it might be a little bit darker than normal. So I'm working on Santa's Village, and I haven't really put any work into this for a couple days. Well, let's see. I did on Saturday? Yeah, no. I didn't Saturday for some reason. I don't see any extra work done since this is where I left off. It's what I did Friday morning. I can't remember why I didn't do it Saturday. Sunday, I was just super busy in the morning, so I couldn't do it. So I'm getting back at it today. So I have not had very much stitching time at all. I've just been busy this weekend and then too tired to really work on it. So I have stitched, but I was working on the Nightmare Before Christmas sale, which was taking up a lot more of my time than I expected. So yeah, so I gotta get caught up on this. I'm trying to think, what did I do on Saturday? Oh, I worked on project bags, and I had to stop because my walking foot, which is, if you don't sew, your walking foot helps you take thick fabrics through your machine. My walking foot was messing up. So here I had 12 project bags cut out. I had starch cut out, prepared, did all the things, and I had to stop because my walking foot was acting up. So I googled it, did some research, and found that it probably needs some oil. So yesterday I had to go do my mom's grocery shopping, and I picked up some sewing machine oil. See, I don't keep sewing machine oil because my actual sewing machine does not use oil. So I didn't have any in the house or anything like that. So I picked some up at Walmart. It was the last bottle, so thankfully I was able to get it. And I put some on my walking foot. It seemed to help, but I had to let it sit overnight to make sure that no oil ran out onto my fabric. So I should be able to pick back up with that today to get my, because I absolutely love this fabric that these project bags are made out of. I mean, love it. It's so pretty. It's the bookish line, and it's based on reading, and there's a design with reading glasses, there's design with bookmarks, there's design with book pages. The background of a couple of the prints has like text, book text. It's really pretty. So yeah, that's what I was doing. But my mom, because she's on like a monthly fixed income, I do her grocery shopping at the beginning of the month, and I pretty much get almost everything she needs for the entire month. So it's a huge job. So I did that yesterday, and it always is, it wears me out. So yeah, I get like my whole car is full of stuff, because it's not just groceries, it's also like household supplies, anything for her pets. So I did that, did all her shopping, and then I take it to her house and I unload it and I put everything away. So it takes me like, it took me about 4 or 5 hours, probably about 5 hours for everything yesterday. So when I got home, I just crashed and got up and I did a little bit of stitching on my Nightmare Before Christmas sale. And my husband was like, he was looking for movies, and he's like, hey, I heard this movie's good. It's a Jake Gyllenhaal movie on Netflix. I was like, okay, I like Jake Gyllenhaal. And make sure it's recording and I'm in frame. Let's see. We started watching that thing, and I'm sorry if you watched this movie and liked it, but I was dying. I was like, honey, this is the most, it was boring, but it was also depressing. It's like, honey, this is so depressing. He's like, I just want to find out what happens. I was like, okay. So I sat there and worked on my Nightmare Before Christmas stitching, and, you know, watched this movie, and it was, if you want to be depressed, watch that movie. That's all I got to say. So I told him, I said, I want that hour and a half of my life back. So, and you could tell, I can't give you the plot away, but you can tell it was like a COVID movie, like filmed because of like COVID times. And if you watch it, you'll understand what I'm saying. But I was like, yeah, this is a COVID movie. Definitely different. Oh, speaking of, this is a weird transition, but our town, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, our tourism director started this thing. I think maybe she had seen it somewhere else. I don't know. But she started this thing where people could come up and they can make scarecrows and display them along Main Street. Well, it's not really, it's the main street that goes to our town. It's not actually Main Street, but anyway, our town's divided up, like the road, there's Main Street is divided by a main road. So there's East Main Street on one side of the road and West Main on the other side. And there's 3 roads total. Anyway, so it was so fun. That first year, everybody was like really getting into it, and one of my favorite ones that I remember was, I don't know if y'all remember, I think they still make them, but this was like the first year they came out, was those big old, it's kind of a mask, but it's like a cardboard cutout of a crying baby, and it's like 2.5 feet wide. The Dollar General store did one where they made a scarecrow shopper and they put that big baby face on it, and they had a buggy with a bunch of food in it. It was hilarious. So some of them are scary, some of them are funny, some of them are like more like a fall harvest theme, like the churches and stuff, they do like more of like the harvest time scarecrows. It's so much fun, and people get so creative. Every year I say I'm gonna do one, and I never do. I'm just always like have a good idea and never follow through. So like what I wanted to do was to make a quilter scarecrow, to have her like sitting at a table and have an old sewing machine, because I had a broken sewing machine, and then we had like a mini kid sewing machine that my mother-in-law had given me that, you know, was like a piece of junk that she just never used. And my husband had already like disposed of those, so we didn't have them anymore. But I was like, wouldn't that be cute? I could make just a patch quilt, you know, like a real simple patch quilt to lay on the table over the, like she's quilting the fabric, and have her sitting there. So maybe next year I'll do that. I can find a broken machine somewhere at a thrift store. So anyway, here I go again. Maybe I'll do that next year, and then I won't. So people have started putting those out, and what happened is, it was just intended to have scarecrows, but what happened was some of the local businesses started making scarecrows and then using that to advertise for the business. So they would make something that was kind of like themed to their business, and then put a sign next to it, like a small little sign, just like advertising. So it was a lot of fun. Like the dentist office they had like an old medical table, like exam table or dentist table, whatever, and they had a skeleton or a scarecrow or something that was laid out on the table with a massive toothbrush. It was really fun. So they started putting those out, and one of them, they took, you know, well, you may not know, it depends on where you live, but the really big hay bales, it's like rolled up hay, and they have made like it's like a bear or something out of it. I'll put a picture in that I took. It's just a picture from my car window, and it's wearing a mask, and I thought that was so cute that it was wearing a mask. But yeah, people started putting their scarecrows out. So the only thing is it's gonna rain this week, so I'd say it's probably gonna be next weekend before people really start putting more out. And oh, and I don't think I explained why I'm filling in this side and not this side. It's because I don't have this on my floss ring, and I didn't want to get up and move my table. So I'm just doing this color because this is on my floss ring. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. I love the scarecrows. So when it gets close to Halloween, which I think the cutoff it's later in the month, the cutoff to put them out there, I will take pictures of them, and the cutest ones I'll show on my FlossTube channel because I just think they are so fun. I love it. There's my husband worked at the Piggly Wiggly for like 24 years, and they put one out last year. Actually, the first year they did it, it had his name tag on it because he left his coat and his name tag hanging up in the back room. So they used his coat and his name tag, and I was like, oh, it's my husband, because it looked like he was sitting there. And then last year they did the same one, and I guess that coat got wore out. So this year they have one in a Piggly Wiggly hoodie. It's really cute. So yeah, but my husband used to wear that coat because he was he was a produce manager, and he was back there in the cooler a lot. So he had like this flannel, like a flannel jacket that he wore when he was in the cold area. So yeah, it's fun. And now after the success of it here, the big town near us, they started doing it too. But I feel like theirs are a little bit more upscale because they have like bigger businesses doing it, and these people put like, they're more designed. The ones in our town are more like homemade, and the ones there are more like fancy, I guess. So you get a different look. There's nothing wrong with either one of them. Of course, I prefer the small town ones because people just get so creative with what they use, because they're not just going to go buy everything that they want to use. So they just take what they have and create these things. It's so much fun. So it's a great way to get people out, because people come and they walk around and they take pictures. So it's a good way. It was a really good idea by our tourism director. It's a good way to bring people, because people were coming from other counties and stuff to come see the scarecrows. It was on the news. So it is really good for tourism. And it just brings people together when, it feels like it's a time when people are so divided. It's something that can bring people together. So, and there's no political stuff allowed. So that helps. Yeah. I'm gonna get me a drink of coffee. Okay. I want to do a new start. I have one of the Bent Creek photo booths. I don't know. I'm so behind on all my stitching. I hate to do a new start, but it's fall themed, and I really love it. It's the, I don't know what it's called offhand, but it's got an owl and I think a crow in the photo booth. So I really want to start that. Oh my goodness. So I had started watching Just Keep Stitching this morning, and Pam showed her work so far on Land That I Love. And I've always thought it was pretty, but I have never been interested in that. But when she showed her stitching up close to the camera and I could actually see the design really well, I was blown away at how beautiful it was. Like, now, that's what I want to stitch. So, I mean, I was like, of course, Pam has the most perfect stitches ever. Her work is impeccable, and of course mine do not look like that. But yeah, seeing it, because it's such a big pattern, whenever you see it, even a model on a video, it's never up close. What has this dog got? Oh, goodness gracious. Let me tell you what. It's always something with these animals. Yeah, it was gorgeous. I need to end this thread. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So now I'm thinking, maybe that should be my next big project. I mean, talk about big, huh? Land That I Love by Trixie Kogut. That thing is massive. But it's so pretty. Alright, let me cut this. Sorry, I'm focusing on this. Okay, so I actually had a dream last night about floss tube and cross stitching. I had a dream that I had met some cross stitchers and like crafters, and they were meeting up, and I said, "You mean y'all get together and cross stitch?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I said, "Can I give you my my information so you can let me know when y'all meet up?" And they're like, "Yeah." And like everything that I grabbed to give them my information, I was like ruining someone else's work. Like it was a piece of artwork or cross stitch, and I'm like, why in the world am I having these crazy dreams about cross stitch? It's like, oh my gosh. Oh, so if you didn't already, I made a community post about another stitch along that I came across, and I came across it from Instagram. Cow Stitcher, she's also a floss tuber. She hasn't posted in a while. She's got little kids and she has a lot going on, but she has amazing cross stitch finishes and everything. She had posted this. So this is free. This is one of the bags I made. This was an oops bag. That's what I call my bags that are a little bit messed up, that something went wrong with them, and so I kept this one for myself because it's an oops bag. But so I started kitting it up in here, and this is a free stitch along from Pine Needles. Pine Needles last Christmas did the Christmas I don't know if they call it Advent. It was a Christmas calendar once a day pattern for the first 25 days in December. And it was so much fun to stitch. I still need to fully finish mine because I want to do Vonna Pfeiffer's flat fold finish, but I need to get a fabric that coordinates, and I need something that's Christmassy, or not necessarily Christmassy, but I need something with a blue, I think, in it. Anyway, I don't have a fabric for it, so I haven't done it yet. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, I think that'll be so cute. So I'm going to show you guys this because this is all free and you can download it. And I know that odds are like 99.9999. You're not going to take a screenshot of this and try to stitch it because it's a free pattern. But I printed this off. This is the DMC list. And unfortunately, it is not in order. Which kind of drove me crazy. It's not very big, and the Christmas one wasn't big either. It is each square, well, I'll get to it in a second. So the day one is the border, which is this. So if you go to the website, which is linked under my community post, you will get the links to download this. So this is day 1. This is the border. So that's 15 by 15. So that's not bad at all. Now this one is 21 by 21, which sounds like it's not very much, but if you do the background, it actually takes quite a bit. So I'll show you guys that in a second. But yeah, so it's 15 by 15, and day 1 is the border, so then there's 30 more days. And so then day 2, that's October 3rd. Okay, this is day 2, and it's so cute. It just says Eek. So that wouldn't take long at all. Now, because I don't have the border done, I guess when I do work on it, I'm just going to do the border as I go. Now, this is taking a lot of time, and I'm getting behind on my other projects. So I've got to figure out, this is another oops bag. I've got to figure out what I want to do as far as stitching these, because if I want to do it in the month, I'm going to have to give up my other stitching. So I may just do part of it. I don't know. I just hate to let it linger until next year, because I have a feeling I will not pick it back up throughout the year. Because it's Halloween, you know. It's like, for me, I don't know. So it says Eek. It's really cute. And then October 3rd is Spells. So she has a color version, she has a black and white version, and you can download this for free through the month of October. On November 1st, she takes away the free pattern, and you can pay for it. And that's the way the Christmas pattern works. So even though I don't know if I'm going to get to even stitch this, or if I do, it's definitely not going to be the whole month, I don't think. I'm still going to go ahead and download the patterns to my phone so that I have them. And then this is another sheet that comes with, that is, just tells you about your, it tells you, you know, what she's doing. You know, don't send people the files, make them go to the website to get it. And the design area, which is 89 by 105. And then this is another list of DMC, and this is what I used actually to make mine in numerical order. And then I went through my stash to see what I had. So I have most of the colors. So this palette is very different than the Nightmare Before Christmas style. This is more like muted, primitive, not really primitive, but a more muted tone. And I think I'm missing 3 colors. It's like a reddish color, and the other 2 I don't know the color. So, and you can see I've taken these off bobbins, that's why they're wrinkly. I love that color. So I have to pick a fabric, and I'm missing white too, and figure out what I'm going to stitch that on. It doesn't need a very big piece, because with I think hers is on 25 count, and it says 6.36 by 7.5, so it's not big at all. And then the Nightmare Before Christmas style is, this is what I've got so far. I'm missing some of the DMCs. So for this was day 3. I am missing everything you see that's blank. I'm missing the DMCs for that. So I have to go to Hobby Lobby and get a few DMCs. This was day 1, day 2. I have some friction lines I need to iron out. I talked about the friction lines. The reason I didn't mind putting them there was because this is full coverage, and I knew that it was going to be covered up. Because what I did is, okay, this is day 3. First I started over here. You can see a little bit of the orange. That's not marker. That's actually DMC fuzzies. I started over here. Had to rip it out. So then I started it up here. I'm like, what am I doing? I am messing this thing all up. So I finished those two, and then I started on this one. And today is, I don't know where, let's see, day 4. It's, okay. So day 4 is right here, and that's Zero, his little ghost puppy. And I still need several DMCs, but look at all these DMCs. That's a lot. So obviously you don't use, you don't use very much of them. They're all crazy because these were all on bobbins, so they're so wrinkly. Like this one was not on a bobbin. You can see it's like so much better, but yeah. They're all wrinkly, but this is all the colors, so it's a very different tone than the other style. And we'll see. Alright. How am I doing on time? I can't see the time. Is that a 26 or a 16? Because the camera is 26. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll end there because I'm already at the max. So I didn't get much done because I was talking and showing y'all that, but that's okay. So I hope everybody has a good day, and I will catch in with you in a couple days. Bye.